Hey guys, welcome back. So we are here for another installment of my Cozy Up To series. If you are unfamiliar, it's basically a series that I do where I talk about cozy mysteries using a certain theme. So for example, like cozy mysteries about gardening or cozy mysteries with a romantic element. Both of which I think I've done, and I will go ahead and link them now if I did. But anyway, so as far as what I am talking about today, I will be totally honest. I had plans to do a Cozy Up To roundup featuring fall cozy mysteries. However, I changed my mind for a couple of reasons, if I'm being honest. One, Court over at Courtagonist has recently released a video talking about kind of like autumnal cozy mysteries or cozy mysteries to get you in the mood for fall, and she did such an excellent job with her roundup. I didn't think that there was a reason for me to do one of my own because each of the books that she talks about is the first in a series, which I think is perfect because even though you don't have to necessarily always read cozy mysteries in order, it helps a lot in terms of getting like a foundation of the characters and the setting and all of that. So if you are interested, definitely check out her channel. I will go ahead and leave the link to that particular video so that you can watch it if you want to get some like fall cozy mystery recs. And the other reason that I decided against that is because I wanted to do something a little bit different, something that is still kind of relevant to the kind of cooler months that we're coming across, and then also because of what is currently happening in the world, which is to say that we're still practicing social distancing, still not really going out and about, and so that means a lot of us, for the most part, are still stuck at home. Which brings me to the theme for today. I decided I wanted to do cozy mysteries based all around hobbies. So like either hobbies that you might already have, hobbies that are really popular, hobbies that you might want to pick up. I know throughout this entire pandemic, people have been, dabbling in new things. I know I, for one, have picked back up hobbies that have been collecting dust on my shelf for a while. And so I thought it would be fun to talk about cozy mysteries that are centered around different hobbies. That way, you can maybe be influenced in whatever kind of way you want, whether that is influence to pick up a new hobby, influence to pick back up a hobby that you haven't done in a while, or even if you're influenced to just read about other people doing hobbies, which, let's be honest, as readers, we like to read about other people doing stuff. So that might be your jam. And if so, then this video is for you. So as usual, please let me know in the comments if you have read any of these, and if so, what you think about them. And then also, if you find yourself having your own suggestions, feel free to drop those as well, because I'm sure other people watching this would like to know other examples other than the ones that I am talking about. So without further ado, let's jump into the list of books. Okay, so first hobby up, we're gonna go with the Crossword Series. Now, naturally, by the name of the series, you know that this centers around crossword puzzles. I, for one, am a huge fan of crossword puzzles, and so I wanted to talk about the Crossword Series, which is actually a 12-book series, at least at the time of this video. And basically what we have is a kind of sleuthing duo. We've got a police detective who pairs up with a crossword puzzle editor to help them solve crimes. Now, this sounds actually exactly like a Hallmark Movies and Mystery series that is currently out with Lacey Chabert called the Crossword Mysteries. And I tried looking it up, and I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be different. Now, I don't know why, because the names are different, but anyway, that's fine. If you have seen that those movies, then this series would actually work really well for you because it's pretty much exactly the same. And the first book starts off with obviously our two characters meeting each other, as to say that there is a crossword editor who was recently killed, and so the police detective teams up with the rivaling newspaper's crossword puzzle editor to help him solve the crime. I am really interested in this, but as far as the hobby goes, I love crossword puzzles, and this book, and I believe all of the books in this series, actually feature unique crossword puzzles, which I think is fun because in addition to reading about crossword puzzles and crime solving, you also have some crossword puzzles yourself to kind of take a crack at, and if my hunches are correct, I have a feeling they might be like murder or mystery based, which I think is an added fun element. Next hobby we want to talk about is knitting. Now, I will be honest, when it comes to cozy mysteries, knitting is a very popular theme, and there is a reason why. There's something about like knitting or quilting, I kind of lump them all together if I'm being honest, that is very cozy and lends itself to the cozy mystery vibe, and that's exactly why I wanted to suggest this next one, which is the Seaside Knitters mystery series. This series, again, at the time of me filming this video, has 11 books. Y'all know that I love cozy mysteries with hefty backlog, because if I find that I like the first book, I've got a whole slew of them to go through, and I think that this is a perfect example of it. Now, this one actually takes place in the Northeast, where a woman opens up a knitting shop on this in this coastal town of either Massachusetts or Maine, I'm forgetting, but what comes of it is kind of like an eclectic group of women who meet there to form like a knitting circle or a knitting group, and each of their kind of quirky personalities. Now, I love this one. I've read the first couple of books, and I love this one because of the cast of characters, because typically in cozies what'll happen is you have kind of like a main sleuth, and there might be a couple of side characters like a grandmother or a friend, but there's usually not like a wide cast of characters. And in this one, that's exactly what you're getting. Each of the women kind of have their own, not kind of, they do have their own personalities, their own backstories, and I love when they come together, because in addition to the mystery element, you're also getting kind of like that close circle of friends element where they get together, gossip, poke fun at each other, and it's really just a fun time. Next hobby is scrapbooking. Now, this is a very popular hobby as well. As somebody who avidly collects or hoards journals, paper, washi tape, pens, all that kind of good stuff, the idea of a scrapbooking mystery is really exciting to me, and this one is even more exciting for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, huge backlog. There are 16 books in the series so far, and then reason number two is that it is written by Laura Childs, who is the same author who did the, or rather writes the infamous is it the Tea Shop Mysteries, and that is a long-standing series that I absolutely adore. She does kind of like hobby cozies very well, and this scrapbooking one is no exception. What we have here is a woman who actually owns a scrapbooking store set of all places in New Orleans. So this is fun for a couple of reasons. One, you're kind of getting your hobby feel with the scrapbooking and the detailed descriptions there, and then also the location, because New Orleans lends itself to so much color, essentially. I'm talking figuratively and literally, because it's such a vibrant and lively place, and to kind of have both the hobby and location meld together, I feel makes for an interesting premise. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, or you love paper and collecting journals and all that kind of fun stuff like I do, then definitely check this one out. Now let's talk about candle making, which I wanted to throw this one in because I thought that it was kind of like a cool and quirky hobby. While this may not be necessarily as popular as, say, scrapbooking, I still think that it's cool. And hey, if you want to learn how to make candles, do you, because that's what Google and Amazon are for. And I feel like with 2-day shipping and like an hour's worth of research, you can have your own little setup ready to go. But anyway, as far as the books go, let's talk about the candle making mysteries. This one is interesting because it's actually a male lead, and that's not to say that that's weird, but let's be honest, the majority of cozy mysteries that I've read at least feature women, and so it's a little bit of a switch up here, and that's not to say that I'm not interested in it, because best believe that I added this one to my TBR. But in this one, we have a guy who has recently inherited his, I think it's great aunt or his aunt's candle shop, and so naturally, as these premises go, he has to solve a crime because something happens in the shop, and he has to go ahead and clear his name out for it. And as far as the backlog, it's not as long as the other ones. This one only has 5 books in the series so far, but I absolutely adore the titles. I've got the first name of the book here. It's called At Wick's End, and I love punny titles when it comes to cozy mysteries, and so this one I feel like is even more clever. Let me just read you a couple of them. We have At Wick's End, A Flicker of Doubt, and another one is Snuffed Out. I mean, they're just so interesting and compelling, and again, like I said, there aren't a lot of cozy mysteries in my opinion that feature men, and I'm really interested to see the point of view that lends for itself, as well as the candle making kind of descriptions behind that, because y'all, other than like Bath and Body Works sales and like the random candles that I pick up at Walmart, I don't know jack about candles, and yet I have a feeling that when I read this book, I'm going to want to scurry on over to Amazon and pick up some supplies so that I can try my hand at it. I don't know. I've got too much time on my hands, clearly, when it comes to quarantine. Last up, we have gardening. This one I feel like is the most obvious, and one that I most definitely have taken part in when it comes to quarantine. If you follow my Instagram, which at this point has turned into a Plantstagram, but anyway, it is called the English Garden Mysteries. Now, I want to go ahead and say that the first book is called Blue Rose, and I wanted to point that out because I believe there is another gardening cozy mystery along those names. It might be an English garden mystery. Anyway, the names are very similar, so I wanted to specify which one that I'm talking about because it features a couple who recently moved into this house in the UK, which, first of all, I feel like gardening and tiny quaint towns in the UK is like a perfect marriage, because at least when I imagine it, it's such a spectacular place to have gardens that are very lush and full of color. But anyway, so this couple recently moves into their new house, and they're so excited to get their garden together. One of them is actually, I believe, like a botany professor, and while they are assessing their land, they see that there are actually a set of rare blue roses growing on their property, and that just kind of like opens the floodgates for mystery and intrigue and all of this stuff. You're probably wondering, like, it's just a flower, how is there mystery involved? So apparently, because the flowers are so rare, this like launches a bunch of people onto their property, and people wanting to learn the secrets of how the flower got there by themselves, and thus this is where the mystery kicks in, because it's like secrets and journals and files and scientific evidence, blah blah blah. I'm super interested in it because I want to see how they managed to make this English garden cozy seem like something out of like a Dan Brown book. I'm thinking of that movie with Tom Hanks, The Da Vinci Code. But anyway, that is one reason why I'm interested in checking it out. And then the other reason, like I said, is because of the location, because an English garden to me just lends itself to like the most lush kind of gardens. And so I know that I'm going to get those descriptions that I need when it comes to like florals and lively bushes and any and everything that you can think of when it comes to gardening. Also, not to mention the fact that I personally love plants, and I have a feeling that reading this is going to make me want to buy even more of them, because it's not as if already your girl can't take a trip to Lowe's without buying more plants. But that's beside the point. If you are interested in gardening, or don't really have a green thumb but want to live vicariously through a character who does, then add this one to your TBR. Now, I will say I don't know if they are available on Kindle. The first book that I saw was not, but that's not to say that you can't buy it elsewhere, either on like Apple Books or Kobo, or even the print version. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer. Okay, so there you have it. That is a handful of cozies based on hobbies. I didn't want to overload you guys because, let's be honest, there's only so many new hobbies one can pick up. But I rounded up the ones that I think are the most doable, so that way if you are interested in kind of like trying your hand at something new, then you've got something realistic to hold on to, not like, say, glass blowing or taking up poker, both of which were contenders on this list before I scrapped it and decided to just go with the ones that I have. But anyway, like I said in the beginning, please let me know if you've read any of these, and if so, what you thought of them. And if you have cozies that you have read that feature kind of like hobbies, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I know that there are so many more than this, believe me, but I just, for the sake of the length of this video, I didn't want to explain all of them. But if you are looking for more suggestions, again, drop a comment and I'm happy to list out some books for you. There are a few that I wanted to mention that I'm holding close to my vest because I think I might do a video separately on them later. I don't know, we will see. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if so, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, happy reading, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!